What's good? It's your boy Sound Selector Zachariah, and this is Urban Sound Studies, and today we're going over the biography of 50 Cent. 50 Cent was born Curtis James Jackson III on July 6, 1975 in South Jamaica, Queens, New York. His resume of occupations lists rapper, actor, television producer, record executive, record producer, and businessman. Jackson's life growing up was not easy by any means. After losing his mother at 8 and his father leaving, Curtis lived with his grandparents. At age 11, he began boxing, and by age 12, he began selling crack. When Curtis wasn't in school, he was either sparring at the local gym or he was selling drugs. In the 10th grade, Curtis was caught at school with a gun and drug money. Then he was caught selling again and was sentenced 3 to 9 years, but only did 6 months and earned his GED. Curtis adopted the name 50 Cent after an infamous Brooklyn robber. He said they were similar in the fact that they provide for themselves by any means. Jackson first started rapping in his friend's basement, where he had turntables to play instrumentals and record over it. In 1996, 50 met Jam Master Jay of Run DMC. Jay taught 50 how to count bars, write choruses, song structure, and how to record. 50's first appearance was on React by Onyx in their 1998 album Shut 'Em Down. Jay went on to produce 50's first album that remains unreleased. In 1999, 50 left Jay and signed to Columbia Records through Trackmasters. They sent him to a studio in upstate New York and recorded 36 songs in 2 weeks. 18 were selected and used on the album Power of the Dollar in 2000. It was on this album that 50 dropped the song How to Rob, which described how he would rob other famous rappers in the game at that time. This track set 50 apart from the competition and even got Jay-Z, Corrupt, Big Pun, DMX, Sticky Fingers, Wyclef, and the Wu-Tang Clan to respond. To continue, Nas even invited 50 on the Nostradamus tour, which he joined. 50 Cent's fame was on the rise and was scheduled to shoot a video for Thug Love featuring Destiny's Child. 2 days before the video shoot, 50 was shot 9 times outside of his grandmother's house, leaving him in the hospital for 13 days. After that, it took the MC 5 months to fully recover. During that time, 50 was dropped from his label Columbia Records and was blacklisted from the music industry over the song Ghetto Quran. Because of this, 50 had to go to Canada to record his music. It was there that 50 and his business partner Shaw Money XL recorded over 30 songs for mixtapes. He took all the hottest songs and rapped over the instrumentals with better hooks and lyrics. This formula took over the game and gained the MC a lot of exposure. I vividly remember this time and how hot 50's mixtapes were. They felt like gold bricks in your hand. In 2002, 50 released his most important mixtape to date, Guess Who's Back, which Eminem heard through Jackson's attorney, who happened to be working with M's manager, Paul Rosenberg. Eminem liked what he heard from the Hungry MC and invited him to fly to LA to meet Dr. Dre. 50 signed a $1 million deal with Shady Aftermath Records and began to work on a new mixtape. This would come to be known as No Mercy, No Fear, a classic intro for what was to come next. It was at this time that 50 signed to Chris Lighty's Violator Management, who at the time had an amazing roster of artists. On February 6, 2003, 50 Cent dropped the all-time classic album Get Rich or Die Trying, which propelled 50 to a height he had not seen before. The first single was In the Club and was a banger. That album gained critical acclaim from nearly all the entertainment outlets and sold 800,000 copies in the first 4 days. This album pushed the beef between 50 Cent and Ja Rule, another NY rapper. The two had beef over a series of events that would end up getting attention from every hip-hop fan around. This feud would be considered the reason why Ja Rule and Murder Inc.'s career slowed way down. Quickly following that up in 2003, 50 Cent signed a funding and distribution deal with Interscope Records for his label G-Unit. 50 filled his roster up with rappers Lloyd Banks, Tony Yayo, Young Buck, and The Game. With this lineup, G-Unit couldn't be stopped. But music wasn't the only thing 50 was taking over. He also in 2003 signed a 5-year deal with Reebok to do a sneaker line for his clothing label, G-Unit Clothing. 50 took his success to the next level when he dropped his sophomore album, The Massacre, which outdid 50's previous record and sold 1.14 million copies in its first 4 days. That album remained number 1 on the Billboard Top 200 for 6 weeks. 50 became the first solo artist to have 3 singles on the Billboard Top 5 within the same week. Those were Disco Inferno, Candy Shop, and How We Do. Around this time, 50 and his label G-Unit faced some turbulence as their artist, The Game, left the label and became mortal enemies. This started another rap battle and left many in the ashes afterwards. But that would not be the end of beefs for 50. He also feuded with Cameron, Rick Ross, and Meek Mill over the course of his career, and is currently still on the internet bullying a lot of people. In 2007, 50 dropped his third album, Curtis, which was based on his life before Get Rich or Die Trying. It debuted at number 2 on the Billboard charts and sold almost 700,000 copies in its first week, despite being released on the same day as Kanye West's graduation album. That year, he also started G-Unit Books, a publishing imprint putting out books like From Pieces to Weight, The 50th Law, and 50 Cent's Playground. But that is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to 50's business ventures. That same year, Coca-Cola purchased Glacier Water, which Jackson had been a shareholder of through his work with Vitamin Water, for $4.1 billion, making 50 instantly the richest rapper at the time, earning $100 million from the deal. In 2008, 50 kept it pushing and started Cheetah Vision alongside his previous film production company, G-Unit Films. In 2009, 50 dropped his fourth album, Before I Self-Destruct. It debuted at number 5 on the Billboard 200, but only sold 160,000 copies its first week, a much different performance than his previous albums. Between 2010 and 2014, 50 had many ups and downs as far as music goes, releasing single tracks but always having his albums delayed or canceled. On February 20th, 2014, the MC left Shady Aftermath Records over money. 50 claims that his relationship with M and J were not hurt by the move though. That year, 50 dropped his 5th and final album so far called Animal Ambition, which debuted at number 4 on the Billboard 200. 2014 was a big year for the rap mogul as he debuted his TV show Power, which was renewed for a second season after the first episode premiered. The show has been a huge success and has a few spin-off shows like Power Book and Raising Kanan. To build on 50's artistry, he's also starred in many movies over the years, first starting with his biography Get Rich or Die Trying. Then he was in Blood Out, Freelancers, Spy, and Southpaw, just to name a few. To stop there would be an insult. 50 Cent is also a shareholder in Effin' Vodka. He started a philanthropy called Street King to help feed 1 billion starving people in Africa. He is a real estate investor, mining precious metals, boxing promotion, and been involved with fragrance lines, video games, headphones, mobile apps, and dietary supplements. And I'm sure I forgot a few endeavors with his history. In 2021, Jackson was executive producer of the hit show on Starz called Black Mafia Family, or known as BMF, based on a true story about the lives of 2 brothers from Detroit who ran drugs and other activity. To bring it back full circle, 50 performed alongside his Shady Aftermath label mates at the 2022 Super Bowl halftime show, which was a huge event for the artist and the hip-hop genre as a whole. As we see, 50 Cent is a hip-hop powerhouse to be reckoned with. From his albums, his business ventures, and his movies, 50 Cent will go down in hip-hop history. I'm your boy Sound Selector Zachariah, and this is Urban Sound Studies. You heard?